threshold transformation. Next we will see erosion. So here we are doing erode transformation using the cv2.erode method. The basic idea of erosion is just like the soil erosion only. What it does is it erodes away the boundaries of the foreground object. Always try to keep foreground in white because it will be easy for the erode function to perform transformation on it. So it is normally performed on binary images and it needs two inputs. One should be the original image and the second one is the kernel, the structuring element, which will decide the nature of the operation. So here you can see that the kernel I have chosen is a matrix of 5 by 5 which will contain 1 and the image we are passing is the gray image. So now let's run this cell and perform the erode transformation. So here you can see that this is the output for erode transformation. Next we will perform morphological transformation. It is useful in opening small holes inside the foreground objects or small white points on the object. It is defined under the cv2.morphology function. Here also we need to define a kernel. So here also I have used the kernel equal to np.ones 5 by 5 which will create a 5 cross 5 matrix of ones. And we are using the grayscale image that we have already created. Now let's run this cell and perform the morphological transformation. So this is the output for the morphological transformation. Next we will see how we can detect the edges of the image, of the text. So this is the canny edge detection. So canny transformation is used to detect the edges in this image. Here we are passing the image that we have already converted into grayscale and we are using the cv2 function, that is cv2.canny. Let's run this cell, find the edges on the image. So this is the output for the canny edge detection. Next we will work on skew correction. So deskewing is a process whereby skew is removed by rotating an image by the same amount as its skew, but it should be in the different direction. So this results in a horizontally and vertically aligned image where text runs across the page rather than at an angle. Here you can see that I have created chords which is np.columnStack where np.where image should be greater than 0. I am using the cv2.min area rectangle and passing the chords in it. So if the angle is less than -45, then the angle will be equal to 90 plus angle but with a negative sign, that is the opposite direction. Else the angle will be negative of the current angle size. We are finding the height and width using the image.shape and storing it into h and w respectively. Similarly, we are finding the center of the image by dividing the width and height by 2. Then we will rotate this, and for rotation we are using the cv2.getRotationMatrix2D function and passing the center and the angle to it. Then we have created a rotated variable in which we are calling the function cv2.warpAffine and we are passing the image here, and this function will return the rotated image. Here you can see that I am calling the deskew function on our gray image and it will return me the rotated one. Now let's run this cell and see how it performs. So this is the deskewing operation that we performed on our image. This is the output for that. Next we will do template matching. So template matching is nothing. In this we just try to match the image. We are passing same image for matching, so we got a similarity of 99%. But if we use different images, it will find the location of a template image in a larger image. So if we need to find an image inside any other image which is a bigger image, so we can use template matching. OpenCV comes with a function cv2.matchTemplate for this purpose. It simply slides the template image over the input image as in 2D convolution and it compares the template. and patch of input image under the template image. So here you can see that in cv2.matchTemplate, I am passing the image and the template file. Now let's run this cell and see how it works. So it gives me a 99.9% similarity because we are passing same images for both image and template. Now let's see how to create rectangle around the text, and this is used to segregate every character in the text by creating a rectangle around it. So in this we are using the image.shape to find the height, width and center of the image. Similarly, we will use the function pytesseract.image2boxes. After that, we are running a for loop which will split the words, and we will use the cv2 function, that is cv2.rectangle, which will create a bounding rectangle, which will create a rectangle around each word. Now let's run this and see how it works. So here you can see in the output that it creates rectangle around each and every word here. As you can clearly observe, each and every character is bounded by a rectangle here. Similarly, we can draw patterns on specific words. We can draw rectangles on specific pattern or word. For this, we will pass a pattern that we need to make rectangle on, and we will run the for loop which will match the pattern in the text, and as it matches the pattern, it will create a rectangle using the cv2.rectangle function, and it will return the image. Let's run this and see how it happens. So here you can see that we choose the pattern as artificially, so it found artificially in the text and create a rectangle around it. Similarly, we can draw rectangle around specific words or patterns. With this, we came to an end of this Google Colab notebook. We started with learning how to install Tesseract, which is used for text extraction. Next, we took an image and extracted the text from that image, and we learned that we need to use certain image transformation function of OpenCV in order to extract text from complex images. So the scope of this is that different organizations can use this to extract useful information from the images and store it. Similarly, individuals can use it for saving their time and effort of typing. Next, I will show you how to create a Flask app for this. So let's move forward.